How's it going, everybody? This is the Hammered Airsoft Smith. This is the review of the WE Desert Warrior M1911A1 gas blowback airsoft pistol. I have, I believe, 420 some odd rounds, or 440 something. Somewhere between 400 and 500 rounds put in a gun. I literally just got done, like, shooting the shit out of it. It's really dirty. And, I like to do my reviews right after I shoot the gun, so that way you can see how dirty they can get. Right, so on with the review. She's definitely a keeper, so that's a good start there. The magazine is a little different than your average WE single stack 1911A1 magazine. It's got a bumper on the bottom, which is, it might be metal. Yeah, it's metal. I think it holds one more round than usual. Normally they hold about 14. I think this one holds 15 max. But because the real steel modern 1911 single stacks 1911 magazines hold 8 rounds, so I put 8 rounds in this particular magazine for this gun. If I use this magazine in another gun, such as my 1918, it still holds 8 rounds because this is based off of a modern single stack 1911A1 magazine. So there you go. Gas reservoir is, you know, typical WE Tech single stack magazine capacity. It does okay, but then again, it depends on where you live. Moving on to FPS. Well, again, depending on where you live and what you use. I use propane. I use 0.20 gram BBs, 6mm BBs. So this gun may, well, it's got a high precision inner barrel, so it could reach probably 330. Around there. This is why I don't talk about FPS too much, because it can vary. I've went over this before in my Samurai Edge review, and I'm not going to get into depth of that again. Okay, so it's a really, when it comes down to it, it is a 1911. There's not too much difference in functionality or ergonomics or operation, should I say, really is the word I'm looking for. There's not too much of a difference between the operation of this pistol here and your standard A1, or even just your standard 1918. There really isn't. A lot of this stuff on here is just bells and whistles, except the ambi thumb safety, the sights, and the rail. The rail is what separates this gun from most of the other 1911s I own. Well, I only own 2 other gas blowback 1911s, but still, that rail makes a huge difference. Now, with that said, let's talk about the features. Well, like I said, it's got a rail. The rail is almost identical to the real steel Picatinny rail. You know, the only difference really is that this square cutout should be circular on this end. That's about it, really. It's got the stamp mark here, which there should be, I think there should be another trade there. The shape of this Riz rail from the side view is just about on par with the real steel. checkered like it should be, but there should be a scalloping underneath on this slide stop here. The thumb safety is pretty much correct. It's ambidextrous like it should be. It looks pretty close to it, serrated. The other side is incorrect, but it does do the part. The real steel one doesn't have the arm here. It has, it just looks like this side pretty much, just a little bit smaller in width. It works with the captured head style. And this is quite loose, but it will not come out. It will not come out. It functions just fine. Okay. It's just loose, I guess, because the quality between the two joints and the two joint ends fitting in the center here is, you know, not the greatest, but it does work. Really, at the end of the day, it does work. The hammer. It's like a Delta skeletonized hammer. It doesn't really make a difference in performance. If anything, it makes performance a little more difficult. Something to do with this end here, this edge. It's usually a little more squared off and it's a bit sharper on this one corner here. But I've sanded a lot of that down. I actually filed a lot of that down. As goes for this hump here. I mentioned in a previous video regarding the gun that I do that to speed up the break-in period. Sometimes these 1911s, these WE 1911s, they will work perfectly fine out of the box. Other times they'll have a, you know, they'll give you a hard time. And this one's giving me quite a bit of a hard time. But after firing a lot today, I think it's surpassed that issue. Excuse me. I don't know if you heard that, but yeah, there you go. There was an issue there with the break-in period where the hammer, the edge of the hammer, will get caught in between the loading nozzle and the hump, and the loading nozzle will stick out a little bit more than you see here. And there's no way, like even if you just rack it and let it come forward, it won't go forward. You have to actually, when it gets stuck there, you have to actually push the loading nozzle back, then pull the slide back, and then it will come forward. Luckily, lately, it hasn't had that problem. I've shot a lot of rounds through the gun today, and it hasn't had that problem. So that's some really good news. Sometimes these WE guns, you know, like I said, they have a pretty long break-in period. You could speed them up a little bit, like I did here, but it's okay now. It seems fine now. These tactical sights, they should be 3-dot sights, but they're not. They're 2-dot, and the 4 sight has no dot. It's just black. It's a little difficult to acquire a good sight picture, but it's not that bad. Once you get used to it, you're okay. It throws you off a little bit, but it'll be alright. This rear sight will get a little loose after firing it quite a bit, but you could throw some blue Loctite on the screw. This blowback housing unit in here will not be removed unless you remove the Allen key and the flathead screw. The rear sight will come out as it should, and it'll go in pretty easily. The front sight, like I said, it's just matte black. It's dovetailed and hasn't gotten loose yet, so that's pretty good. Forward cocking serrations and rear cocking serrations as per the real steel. Checkered mag catch as it should be as per the real steel. Matte black trigger like it should be, but the thing is, this is an A1 trigger pretty much. It's just matte black, checkered on the front, and it's short. I believe the real steel, it's a mid trigger and it's serrated on the front. but still it looks the part. This flathead screw should be a Phillips. So should the grip screws. They should be, not Phillips. They should be hex screws. This should be a hex screw, and so should the grip panel screws. There's an ant there. Yeah, I killed him. Whatever. What are you gonna do about it? Alright. And the beaver tail grip safety is extended as it should be. There might be a design here, I don't really remember, but it does look the part. Overall, the gun does look a lot like the real steel Desert Warrior, so I'm not complaining at all about its looks. It actually looks really good. Checkered on the rear, like it should be. Lanyard, like it should. This front strap is checkered. That's not how the real steel is. It's just smooth, like the A1s. Short guide rod, original guide rod, like it should be, checkered. It might be flush, smooth, I don't remember, but it still looks really good. Threaded barrel, I think it's 14 mil counterclockwise. It's chromed, as it should be. There's a precision barrel, you see it's blue. Standard black barrel bushing, as it should be. 45 ACP. I think the real steel might say 45 ACP, or it might say something along the lines of 45 ACP. I don't really remember. A rounded end on the slide side, like it should be. Anything else? It's got a very nice, snappy, racking, metallic sound to it. It does sound like that normally. I do have a 6mm O-ring on the guide rod to act as a buffer. That's just to create more tension. I had that more specifically for the break-in period, so it will create more tension between the top of the hammer and that hump with the blowback housing unit here, so that way it would create a shorter break-in period. So that's the only reason why I had that in there. Otherwise, it would probably be a little more metallic sounding. But it's really nice. It's really smooth now, the action on it. It's got a half cock, full cock, and just fire. Everything works perfectly fine on it. All the internals are just simple. The grips here, they're like these waffling looking Kimber style grips, as they should be. They're nice. I like them. They're very nice. They look smooth. They're kind of smooth, but they're, I don't know, something about them is quite magical, to say the least. They are pretty grippy. They're not the greatest, but they do the part. This helps a lot. Like I said, even though this isn't on the real steel, sorry. This isn't on the real steel, but still, that everything about it makes it very grippy. I got this pistol originally because it is a WE 1911. I love WE 1911s. I have nothing but good luck with them. I had a few issues here and there, but I usually tend to overcome them. But I needed something more utilitarian, military style, or police style. It's got, you know, it looks very modern. It's got a great grip on it, great trigger. Everything about it is just great ambi thumb safety. The hammers, you know, quite tactical looking. The sights are pretty great, and the rail is the biggest thing that sets it aside from most. It just has that very utilitarian look. It reminds me of where I grew up, so it's just a great pistol in my opinion. It did have a very lousy break-in period, but I'm glad that so far it seems like it's just succumbed that, or overcome it, should I say. Alright, so that's really the gist of it. There's nothing else really much to say. The accuracy is pretty decent. Here's a little target here. This target is very small. So if you look at this target and you see, oh well, he's got a shot. There's another ant. Damn it! Oh, get him! All right. Anyways, yeah. So if you look here, wow, he's got a target this small, and he's got a shot here, 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 here. So there's like 8 shots put in here. There's another one there. Oh wow, man, that's a pretty inaccurate gun. No, not at all. This is from 25 feet with .20 e-Vike BBs. This is shot today. This is 8 shots, and that's pretty good. I mean, my hands are small. You can see in comparison. This is a full size or full length 1911, and look at it in comparison to this target. That's a small target. That's tiny. This circle here is only like that big. And from 25 feet, that just means you're going to hit your target no matter what. Because when it comes to airsoft, as long as you can hit a man-sized target, that's what counts, right? So, I mean, that's another damn ant. But that's really good. That's really good. So there's that. As far as accuracy goes, it's pretty accurate. I mean, it is a 1911 style WE pistol, and they're great. Not all WE guns are great, but the 1911s and the M9s seem to be really good. But then again, I excuse me, holy crap, I can't talk. I've really only had one WE M9 style gun, and that's the M92F Samurai Edge, and that thing just works phenomenal. But, you know, 1911s I can definitely stand behind when it comes to WE guns. Yeah, they're great. They're very exceptional. The break-in period, again, for this one particularly, was quite harsh, but once you get through it, it's really not all that bad. We're gonna take a look at the internals before I close the video. This O-ring in here is actually, I sanded it down so it's actually thinner than normally they're kind of rounded, but I made it thinner so that way it doesn't have as much stress on the spring. Just standard spring. Everything in here is just standard except for the precision inner barrel. Short guide rod. Dirty gun. Look at this. Filthy in there. Like I said, I wasn't kidding around. I shot the shit out of this gun all day. I really wanted to put it through its paces. I don't screw around when it comes to these gas blowback guns. You can see that high precision inner barrel peeking through. It's got that plastic, you know, fatal flaw on WE 1911s, part 72. But it seems to be working fine. It looks like there might be a crack there, but it might just be a scratch from where. I'm not sure, but it seems to be working fine. I'm not too concerned. This is black, which is different. This section here is black. That's normally silvered or just bare metal. This loading nozzle isn't as snappy as it should be. It's pretty decent right now. But I actually just to experiment, I put a different WE standard, a standard WE, like just another standard WE loading nozzle in here, and it was way more snappy, along with a different standard WE piston head, and it just was way more snappy. But for some reason this one, and I even let the piston head and O-ring dry out for a while, wiped everything down, and for some reason this one's not too, but it works fine. It works just fine. Filthy freaking gun. Holy shit. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's the only thing about having this camera angle here is that you tend to bump into the camera sometimes without knowing. Or without meaning to, should I say. But, there you have it. She is just great. She's just a great gun. Great looking gun. The paint job. Here we go. This is a big step forward when it comes to WE. This paint job on here is fantastic. It hasn't worn at all. Except for like normal wear and tear. Like here and here. A little bit there. That's dirt. That's, well, not dirt, but it's just dirty oil. Dirty oil. Yeah, filthy freaking gun. My guys, there were some dings on it. I don't know why that is. But as far as paint goes, they really upped their game when it came to paint quality. They really did. If this was a standard WE 1911A1, this paint right here would have been gone. And it's not even remotely close to being gone. There's like a little bit gone there, but you can't even really see it. Back here is kind of rubbed off a little bit, but it's nothing compared to what it used to be like. Alright, so there she is. I have a name picked out for her, like I said in a previous video, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to name her. I'm deciding between like 3 names. Alright, you know what, screw it. I think I'm leaning more towards Xena. Because, you know, the warrior, yeah. I'm quite nerdy and I'm a little old. So, if you don't know who Xena Princess Warrior is, check her out, you know. And, I'll see you all later. Thanks a lot for watching. And, that's all.